Mu Feng turned his head and noticed Lu Di gazing at the girl in Xiao Yan's hands with intense interest. He spoke up, "Cauldron Triflower Pupil. It's really not such a big deal, is it?" Lu Di responded with a smirk, "Hee hee, you wouldn't understand. You're not from the Serpent clan, so naturally, you have no idea of the terrifying power behind this Cauldron Triflower Pupil. There are 3 extraordinarily strange pupil types within our Serpent clan, 2 of which are the Cauldron Triflower Pupil and the Azure Serpent Triflower Pupil," she continued, her eyes gleaming with excitement. The Azure Serpent Triflower Pupil ranks last among the 3. Legend has it that once fully cultivated, it can control all Serpent clans and Snake-type magical beasts at will. Just imagine, a perfect 4-star Do-D suddenly summoning numerous perfect 4-star Do-D warriors to the battlefield. It would be utterly decisive. Then there's the Cauldron Triflower Pupil, the second in rank and the most revered pupil in the Serpent clan. Rumors from the outside world suggest that this pupil allows the bearer to break through their limits and evolve. In our clan, though, it's believed that the Cauldron Triflower Pupil accelerates cultivation and can even trigger an evolutionary transformation among the Serpent clan. Lu Di's voice trembled with barely concealed excitement. "Evolve?" Xiao Yan echoed her words, setting up a vast soul barrier around them. He gently laid down the unconscious girl in his arms. The girl lay there with delicate, branch-like hair, her breathing steady as her eyes remained slightly shut, as if she could awaken at any moment. "Yes, exactly. Evolution," Lu Di affirmed. "We Serpent clan members are different from humans. You humans can cultivate indefinitely unless you fail a breakthrough, in which case you might face death. But for us, when our time comes, if we don't break through or evolve, we'll most likely face our end. That's why so many magical beasts seek to transform into human form. And no matter how much we cultivate, even reaching the Dosien level, we Serpent clan members can't completely rid ourselves of our snake characteristics. The only way to truly perfect our transformation into humans is through the consumption of special pills or by evolving. According to some obscure records, the Cauldron Triflower Pupil may contain a mysterious power that can trigger the evolution of our bloodline." Lu Di's excitement was palpable, her pupils glowing with intensity. "Evolution, huh? Evolution is a great thing. It not only changes one's innate abilities, but also enhances the power of one's bloodline, determining how far one can go in cultivation." Xiao Yan mused. "However, if the breakthrough fails, the consequences are disastrous." Xiao Yan's thoughts flashed back to when Medusa had used the power of heavenly flames to evolve into the 7-colored sky-devouring python. The terrifying ordeal still sent chills through him. One misstep, and the result would have been catastrophic. "Heh, that's where you're mistaken," Lu Di interrupted. "In the Serpent clan, the power of our bloodline is of utmost importance, with the bloodline of the sky-devouring python being the most revered. The sky-devouring python has a range of colors, from 1 to 9, and a 9-colored heaven-swallowing python hasn't appeared in thousands of years. So, there's a real possibility that the Cauldron Triflower Pupil could give rise to a 9-colored heaven-swallowing python within our clan." Lu Di exclaimed, her excitement rising. "A 9-colored heaven-swallowing python would be a terrifying force, even among Dosien. A 9-colored heaven-swallowing python?" Xiao Yan was taken aback. He recalled how Kai Lin had evolved into one of these legendary creatures in the 9 Netherworld Python clans' lair back on the Do-Chi continent. Could it be? "Yes, a 9-colored heaven-swallowing python," Lu Di confirmed. "I can't believe such a thing really exists. I remember my brother once mentioned that the blood of a 9-colored heaven-swallowing python could weaken his power." Mu Yingying muttered, her eyes glinting as if recalling something important. "Still, the 9-colored heaven-swallowing python is the Serpent clan's greatest secret. I don't know much more, but I can tell you it has unfathomable potential," Lu Di added, her tone lowering slightly. "It looks like I need to hurry and find Kai Lin sooner," Xiao Yan decided inwardly. Once this matter was resolved, he would set out immediately to find his 2 wives, who meant everything to him. "You mentioned there were 3 mysterious pupil types within the Serpent clan. What's the third?" Mu Feng asked, his curiosity piqued as he looked at Lu Di. "Let's drop it. That pupil hasn't appeared in ages. It's probably better not to know, Lu Di replied dismissively. For now, we should finish up here before something unexpected happens. She gently supported the girl with the Cauldron Triflower pupil, preparing to leave. Agreed. Everyone nodded. Slowly, the group of 6 made their way to the barefooted woman. TSK, this yellow light beam isn't ordinary, Mu Feng commented as he approached the woman. From what I've heard, it's used to imprison people, functioning similarly to a seal. Even I couldn't break it quickly. Watch out. Just as Mu Feng bent down to examine the woman, a surge of green light shot out from her body, heading straight for him. Xiao Yin, sensing the attack with his powerful soul, swiftly pulled Mu Feng away, narrowly avoiding the mysterious strike. Impressive reflexes, the barefooted woman stretched lazily, her tone languid. Hee, I sensed from the start that this Doqi light beam couldn't hold you. I'm just curious as to why you haven't left yet, Xiao Yin replied calmly, showing no surprise at her actions. I'm impressed. Your Imperial Realm level soul is extraordinary. Even though I'm not sure of its true strength, it's shocking to see someone at the perfect 4-star Do D level with such a terrifying soul, the barefooted woman remarked. Boom! With a soft explosion, the yellow Do Chi beam shattered, revealing the woman. You've surprised me as well. With no treasure on you, I guess that the Fire Kirin pill and the 9 demon worm are with someone else, Xiao Yin smiled. Yet, you didn't escape during the chaos earlier. Does that mean you're supremely confident, or just foolish? It's nothing, the woman responded with a faint smile. I merely wanted to prove something. But you're right, those items aren't with me, she added. You'll make a fine opponent. I hope to meet you again at the sect competition 7 years from now. Oh, and my name is Lin Zhu. I'm from the Poison Sect. With that, her body dissolved into a green light and vanished. Let's head to the rendezvous point. I can sense the mark left by that person. It seems they're preparing to leave, Xiao Yin said, just as he was about to lead the group in a particular direction. Sorry, I won't be able to go with you. The matter of the Cauldron Triflower pupil is too important. I must personally escort her back, Lu Di stated seriously. Mu Feng, go with her, Xiao Yin instructed. He understood the significance of the Cauldron Triflower pupil to the Serpent clan and suspected it might even be linked to Kailin. Sure, no problem. Mu Feng replied cheerfully. Thank you, Lu Di said softly, holding the girl in her arms with a hint of bitterness. After a brief pause, the group split up, with Xiao Yin, Little E, and Mu Yingying setting off for their training, while Mu Feng and Lu Di made their way toward the Serpent clan, the Cauldron Triflower pupil girl in tow. It's surprising that the man with the heavy ruler on his back seemed rather average, yet his perfect 4-star Do D strength made me, someone at the early 6-star Do D stage, feel a sense of dread. He must have many secrets hidden on him. Luckily, he didn't chase after me in the end. Otherwise, it would have been a tough fight. Sitting cross-legged on a bed, the barefooted woman Lin Zhu muttered to herself. Forget it. I'll worry about it later. I wonder how senior sister is doing. Even though she's at the late 8-star Do D stage, many people have their eyes on her. Master, hurry up and come. After Lin Zhu finished speaking, she tidied her appearance slightly, put on a wide-brimmed hat, and left her room. By the look of it, she was on her way to meet her senior sister. Outside the eastern gate of Xinling City, few people passed by at night, making the inspections lax. The wide, deserted road often turned a blind eye to the secret dealings and ambushes that took place here. About 10 kilometers from the eastern gate of Xinling City, a rocky forest trail stretched ahead, with barely a trace of human activity. Giant rocks lined the path, but fortunately, a small trail cut through the middle. A barefooted woman was walking slowly down this path. Dressed in green, her face was delicate, though a thin veil concealed her features. Who's there? Come out, she called out coldly, her lips parting slightly. What sharp senses! The third disciple of the Poison Sect, EngSubs, truly lives up to her reputation. A hearty laugh echoed from all directions. Someone from the Tu clan? Upon hearing this, EngSubs' eyes narrowed slightly beneath her veil, clearly confused about when the Poison Sect had offended the Tu clan. You have something many people covet, The speaker was none other than Tu Xingzhe of the Tu clan, an expert at the mid 8-star Do D level. That depends on whether you have the ability to take it. Bing Xian scoffed, raising her jade hand without giving Tu Xingzhe a chance to respond, attacking immediately. Such a cold beauty, Tu Xingzhe muttered as he quickly activated his Do Qi. Bing Xian was a perfect 8-star Do D and cultivated poisonous Do Qi. A single misstep, and Tu Xingzhe knew he'd pay dearly. Around the rocky trail, several hidden figures were lurking. Leader, that woman is the poison sect's third disciple. A perfect 8-star Do D is too much for us to handle right now, muttered Tu Lang to the woman beside him. It seems we're not the only ones after this item. A perfect 8-star Do D is difficult enough, but there are others here, possibly even stronger. The woman nodded in agreement. So, what do we do? Tu Lang asked in a thin, rasping voice. Let's go. That incense pavilion kid should still have time. We'd be better off preparing for the desert. What we seek there is far more tempting than that fire Kirin pill's poison. The woman's figure faded into the night as she spoke. Tu Lang followed closely behind, and as he moved, his soul power surged, directing them toward a meeting point with Xiao Yan's soul force. Pill King, who do you think will win? A refined-looking man asked the Pill King who stood beside him. Heh, that's hard to say. One is Tu Xingzhe, a mid-8-star Do D, and the other is the poison sect's third disciple, a perfect 8-star Do D. If not for Tu Xingzhe's Earth Attribute Do Qi, he'd have already been defeated, the Pill King Chen Xian pondered aloud. If not for the high value of the Fire Kirin pill, the Pill King's pride would never have allowed him to hire such a powerful figure. The cost of securing this person's help was so high that even the Pill King felt a sting in his heart. Don't worry with me here. Unless it's the Xinling King himself, we won't lose this. Sensing the subtle shift in the Pill King's expression, the man beside him reassured him. I'll leave it to you, Master Lu, Chen Xian replied, refocusing his gaze on the battle. Heh, things are really heating up. From a hidden spot nearby, Elder Zhu's figure appeared momentarily before vanishing once again. Take this. Bing Xian shouted coldly as a surge of green Do Qi erupted around her. Her figure flickered and vanished from where she stood. The moment Bing Xian's green Do Qi appeared, the surrounding space trembled violently. Such potent poisonous Do Qi. Tu Xingzhe immediately recognized the lethal toxins within Bing Xian's green Do Qi. If it hit him, his fate would be grim. While Tu Xingzhe was still in shock, Bing Xian had already reappeared behind him. Green Do Qi gathered in her hand as her jade palm flipped, aiming directly at Tu Xingzhe's crown. Though the palm strike appeared simple, it contained terrifyingly poisonous Do Qi. Ha! Tu Xingzhe, unfazed, stomped the ground. A heavy, mountain-like yellow Do Qi materialized around him. As the yellow Do Qi emerged, a dense stone barrier formed around Tu Xingzhe's body, solidly absorbing Bing Xian's poisonous palm strike. Though Tu Xingzhe blocked the attack, he knew better than anyone that his once formidable stone defense was rapidly corroding under Bing Xian's toxic Do Qi. The terrifying poison would penetrate his defense if this continued any longer. Hmph! What a tough shell! Bing Xian muttered as her beautiful eyes flickered. Though her attack had eroded much of the stone barrier, fully breaking through would require a substantial amount of Do Qi. Moreover, Bing Xian sensed the presence of other hidden forces around her and was unwilling to put herself in unnecessary danger. Heh? Your poisonous Do Qi is powerful, but my Earth attribute Do Qi excels in endurance. You can't outlast me, Tu Xingzhe sneered. Is that so? Well, don't be so sure, Bing Xian responded without a hint of panic. Instead, her body was once again enveloped in that eerie green Do Qi. The next moment, the green Do Qi writhed strangely, and a shadowy green sword materialized in her hand. What terrifying poison Do Qi, Tu Xingzhe chuckled. But inwardly he was shaken. Bing Xian's cultivation of poison Do Qi had reached such an alarming level. Do Qi manifestation. This was an advanced technique, and from the green sword shadow Bing Xian had formed, Tu Xingzhe could feel a deadly energy radiating from it. What terrifying sword energy, murmured two sword-wielding men hiding behind a boulder. These two were none other than members of the 10,000 Swords sect, the most prominent of the super sects. People from the Tu clan, take my sword. Bing Xian gripped the green sword firmly, her immense do qi continuously surging from within, pouring into the sword in her hand. Such a minor trick, Tu Xingzhe muttered, but the fearsome yellow do qi surged from his body once more, fully displaying the might of a mid-8-star do di. The next moment, Tu Xingzhe didn't hesitate to expend a tremendous amount of do qi, erecting dozens of rock barriers around himself. Bing Xian was a perfect 8-star do di, and her poison do qi was even more fearsome, so Tu Xingzhe dared not let his guard down. What a terrifying woman. After finishing his defensive preparations, Tu Xingzhe breathed a sigh of relief, fixing his gaze on Bing Xian. However, to his surprise, Bing Xian remained motionless, standing there as if in deep meditation. If not for the ominous pulse emanating from the green sword in her hand, Tu Xingzhe would have thought the woman had fallen asleep. But was that really the case? As Tu Xingzhe pondered this, Bing Xian moved, her beautiful eyes snapped open, and an overwhelming killing intent surged forth. Her figure blurred as she shot toward Tu Xingzhe's position at incredible speed. Gripping the green sword tightly, its tip aimed directly at him, she charged like an unstoppable force, ready to break through all obstacles. Bang! 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 A series of loud cracks filled the air as rock after rock shattered under her assault. At the same time, a rare expression of gravity appeared in Tu Xingzhe's eyes. He saw Bing Xian fiercely channeling her do qi into the green sword in her hand, then launching herself at his defenses with the momentum of an unstoppable warhorse. One strike. 8 of the rock barriers he had painstakingly erected were obliterated, leaving only 2 remaining. Tu Xingzhe also noticed that Bing Xian's green sword wasn't ordinary. The moment its terrifying sword energy touched his rock defenses, a fearsome corrosive force appeared. First, it ate away at his defenses, followed by the sword energy itself. No wonder the poison sect master had taken her as his 3rd disciple, and no wonder she could break through 8 layers of his defense with a single blow. After a brief stalemate, Bing Xian realized that breaking through the final 2 layers of Tu Xingzhe's defense was not feasible. She immediately withdrew, leaping back a few paces. "Where do you think you're going?" Tu Xingzhe shouted. "Rock spikes." Not willing to let such a prime opportunity slip away, Tu Xingzhe's body erupted with do qi as he roared. Bing Xian's recent attack had consumed a considerable amount of energy, and Tu Xingzhe seized the moment to counterattack. Boom, boom, boom. As Tu Xingzhe's roar echoed, Bing Xian instantly sensed something amiss. The ground beneath her seemed to be shifting, as if something was about to burst forth. She quickly leaped away just as a massive rock spike, several dozen meters tall, shot up from the ground where she had been standing. The tip of the rock spike was razor-sharp. If it had hit a vital point, it would have caused severe injury in an instant. What a sharp rock spike! Bing Xian glanced back to see her previous position utterly destroyed by the enormous spike. Again, Tu Xingzhe roared once more. Throughout the fight, Tu Xingzhe repeatedly summoned sharp rock spikes to attack Bing Xian. However, each time, Bing Xian deftly dodged, her movements quick and graceful. As time passed, sweat began to bead on Tu Xingzhe's forehead. Clearly, even a mid-8-star do di like him could not sustain such a high-intensity use of do qi for long. This Bing Xian is truly peculiar. The poison sect is known for cultivating poison do qi, and their methods of killing rely on swift, lethal strikes with toxic techniques. I've never heard of anyone from the poison sect using swordsmanship before, remarked an older man, sword in hand, from behind a rock. These two were from the 10,000 Swords sect, the leading super sect in the mystic 3 heavens. The older man's name was Jian Wuqing. He held a significant position within the sect and was an early 8-star do di. His mastery of sword intent had reached extraordinary levels. Despite his rank, his formidable sword intent allowed him to challenge even perfect 8-star do dis. The younger man standing beside Jian Wuqing was Jinyu, an early 6-star Do-D. Ever since he joined the sect, his remarkable talent had drawn the attention of the upper ranks. Huh. Jinyu furrowed his brows slightly upon hearing this. Keep watching. Something doesn't feel right. Jian Wuqing shook his head. His junior brother, while possessing more terrifying sword intent than he did, was still somewhat naive when it came to the ways of the world. While I don't know if there's anything strange about this poison sect woman, the terrifying aura she emits makes her a formidable opponent. Jinyu muttered, a rare flicker of excitement lighting up his eyes. Apart from the elders of the 10,000 Swords sect, Jinyu had rarely encountered an opponent among his peers. Now, seeing Bing Xian, a perfect 8-star Do-D, his fighting spirit surged. Remember, we're here to find out the final whereabouts of the Fire Kirin pill. Don't get any strange ideas. Besides, I have a faint feeling that we're not the only powerful ones here, Jian Wuqing said, glancing around cautiously. Senior brother, are you saying? Jinyu asked, seemingly realizing something. They're not from the Xinling royal family. It wouldn't make sense for them to secretly steal back the very item they auctioned. But what's even stranger is that after the Xinling royal family's auction ended, several powerful auras that were hiding within the palace suddenly disappeared. I wonder if it was just my imagination, Jian Wuqing mused. For an early 8-star Do-D like him to sense such subtle and powerful presences, it could only mean the Xinling royal family's Dragon Devourer Legion or the Xinling king himself was involved. Yet, for some reason, their auras seemed to vanish. Perhaps you're overthinking it, senior brother, Jinyu replied absent-mindedly, his focus still on the battle in front of him. It was clear that Jinyu cared only about fighting and swordsmanship, with little interest in anything else. Let's hope so. Jian Wuqing stopped thinking about it and focused intently on the two combatants before him. By now, the battle had reached a fever pitch. Tu Xingjia's yellow Do-Chi was becoming erratic, a stark contrast to the steady control he had displayed at the start. Clearly, Bing Xian's prolonged evasive maneuvers were taking their toll on him, and his Do-Chi was depleting. Earth attribute Do-Chi doesn't seem as unshakable as the legends say, Bing Xian noted, choosing not to press her attack. Instead, she stood atop a boulder, her gaze fixed on the sweat-drenched Tu Xingjia. Cough, cough. A perfect 8-star Do-D truly lives up to the name. I'm ashamed, Tu Xingjia said, withdrawing his Do-Chi and meeting Bing Xian's gaze directly. Farewell. After a brief stare down, Tu Xingjia spoke abruptly, turning to leave. Tu Xingjia, leaving so soon? Since we're old acquaintances, why not stick around and witness the transfer of the Fire Kirin pill? Just as Tu Xingjia was about to depart, a voice called out with a teasing tone. This voice, why does it sound so familiar? The moment the voice rang out, Tu Xingjia felt a strange sense of familiarity. He had heard this voice before, and the speaker claimed to be an old friend? Could it be? Tu Xingjia turned his head with some difficulty, and there, on a distant rock opposite Bing Xian, stood a middle-aged figure slowly emerging from the shadows. As the figure came into view, Tu Xingjia felt his Do-Chi tremble slightly within him. Master Lu? Tu Xingjia exclaimed, his voice filled with shock upon recognizing the figure. Master Lu was none other than the most renowned forging master in Xinling City. It was widely known that when Do-Chi reached its peak, it led to the development of auxiliary paths like Do-Array masters and alchemists, professions cultivated from the complexities of Do-Chi. Forging masters were another such path. A forging master could take rare metals or meteorites and, with specialized techniques, craft them into divine weapons. In a battle between two equally powerful fighters, excluding the differences in Do-Chi techniques and skills, the presence of a divine weapon could be the deciding factor. A divine weapon could drastically enhance a user's combat abilities, and such weapons were passed down through generations, their value often rivaling that of Do-Chi techniques or skills. Master Lu was said to be the most powerful forging master in all of Mystic 3 Heavens, and he had already reached the 9th rank Imperial class, only a step away from becoming an Immortal class forging master. The ranks of forging masters ranged from 1 to 10 in the Imperial class, and after the 10th rank, one could ascend to the Immortal class. Not everyone could have a smooth cultivation journey. Some would face bottlenecks that were nearly impossible to break through. rather than risk failure and death by forcing a breakthrough. Many chose safety, their desire for strength still deeply ingrained in their hearts. Thus, the profession of forging master emerged. A well-crafted divine weapon was just as valuable as any Do-Chi technique or skill, making weapons a critical factor in determining the outcome of battles in the Do-Di continent. Hee, young one of the two clan, you should step back for now, Master Lu, the middle-aged man, said with a soft smile. To think even Master Lu is involved, Tu Xingzhe muttered, retreating to a large boulder, occasionally glancing at the figure standing beside Master Lu. Pil King Chen Xian? Tu Xingzhe's pupils dilated in shock the next moment. It seems Master Lu was summoned by Pil King Chen Xian. Sigh, provoking an alchemist is like kicking a hornet's nest. Tu Xingzhe immediately understood. For someone as powerful as Master Lu, a 9-star Do-Di, to appear here, it had to be Pil King Chen Xian pulling the strings. Pil King Chen Xian was notorious for his terrifying alchemical skills, and for an alchemist to rise in rank, not only was soul power required, but a high level of Do-Chi was essential. Pil King Chen Xian sure has big ambitions, Tu Xingzhe thought quietly to himself. Master Lu? Jian Wuqing, who had been hidden, gasped when he saw the figure emerge. Senior brother, who is Master Lu? Jian Yu asked curiously, turning to Jian Wuqing. Master Lu is no ordinary person. Our 10,000 Swords sect doesn't just cultivate conventional Do-Chi. We combine it with boundless sword intent, and for us, the value of a forging master is immeasurable. A divine weapon can vastly enhance the power of sword intent, and the one who creates these divine weapons is a forging master. As far as I know, Master Lu is the most powerful forging master in all of Mystic 3 Heavens. He has already reached the 9th rank Imperial class, and it's only a matter of time before he steps into the Immortal class. Once that happens, he'll gain the ability to forge immortal weapons, and even our sect master will have to show him respect. Jian Wuqing explained solemnly. What a terrifying presence. Jian Yu nodded in agreement, fully aware of how much a well-crafted divine weapon could enhance his combat abilities. But don't underestimate Master Lu. He's not just a 9th rank forging master, but also one of the top experts in Xinling City, a 9-star Do-Di. Jian Wuqing added gravely. What terrifying strength! Jian Yu's gaze shifted to Master Lu, now with a newfound respect. Master Lu wore a simple white robe, his black hair and dark eyes hinting at something deeper within. His expression was gentle, and his smile harmless, but his hands bore scars of varying degrees. Around his wrists were strange iron rings, their purpose unknown. Tut-tut. I didn't expect even Master Lu to show up, Elder Zhu remarked lazily, casting a brief glance at the smiling Master Lu. It seems Pil King Chen Xian couldn't resist. After being stuck at a bottleneck for so many years, he's not going to pass up the opportunity presented by the Fire Kirin Pil. But inviting Master Lu here, Pil King Chen Xian must be prepared to pay a heavy price. Elder Zhu chuckled. Oh? It looks like there are also 2 young disciples from the 10,000 Swords sect. Elder Zhu turned his gaze to a nearby boulder, his eyes swirling with thought. Damn it! A 9-star Do-Di, Bing Xian's eyes flickered as she noticed Master Lu standing across from her. A formless pressure emanated from his body. Hee, little girl, hand over the item, Master Lu said with a smile, his tone calm and devoid of any Do-Chi fluctuations. He appeared no different from an ordinary middle-aged man. Yet it was precisely this lack of outward power that made Bing Xian even more shocked. The terrifying strength of a 9-star Do-Di like Master Lu was truly beyond comprehension. As a perfect 8-star Do-Di, Bing Xian's power seemed close to that of a 9-star Do-Di, but she knew better than anyone that the gap between them was like an unfathomable abyss. Countless prodigies had been stuck at the perfect 8-star Do-Di level, unable to break through. Reaching the 9-star Do-Di stage meant standing at the pinnacle of the Do-Di realm, only a step away from becoming a Do-Xian. Humph! Isn't this a bit much, bullying the weak? Bing Xian's delicate brows furrowed as she spoke. Even someone as proud as Bing Xian, a perfect 8-star Do-Di, had to be cautious when facing a 9-star Do-Di like Master Lu. One misstep in this situation could lead to disaster. I'm just doing someone a favor, Master Lu replied flatly, glancing at Pilking Chen Xian behind him. This time, I'm counting on you, Master, Chen Xian said with satisfaction, nodding toward Master Lu. Humph. I'd like to see just how terrifying a 9-star Do Di really is. Bing Xian retorted as her green Do Chi surged around her, preparing for an attack. Then come. Master Lu's casual smile vanished in an instant, replaced by a steely expression. The moment he spoke, a terrifying wave of Do Chi erupted from him, filling the air with an overwhelming pressure.